And this brings new meaning to having a stick up your arse, because I'm pretty much sitting on a branch. Here I am in Wonderland, sitting on a toadstool. No, I'm actually sitting on a tree stump in a room which has been turned into a rather strange art installation. All you can hear is a family with several children. So, I bet you're wondering, is this abandoned hospital haunted? Well, this is the first ghost I've spotted today. So that's why I'm crouched on the stage. So fingers crossed. You'll see on my Instagram whether the photo worked and whether I pulled it off. Come and join me on my exploration of this abandoned German hospital. Heilstätte Grabowsee is located in the middle of a forest on the outskirts of Berlin. The isolation of this location and the fresh country air made it the perfect place to aid patients in recovery from tuberculosis and other respiratory diseases, whilst naturally isolating them from the rest of society. Although not all patients survived this deadly disease, and many ended their days within these now lifeless walls. As with all hospitals, death was commonplace here, and many believe this former hospital is haunted by the spirits that were once imprisoned here. During World War II, this hospital was seized by the Soviet Army and used to treat military casualties. Now the hospital's crumbling walls have been rejuvenated by art. Many local artists have left their mark by creating various different installations within the former wards. Naturally, with its chilling corridors, this hospital is often a film set for horror movies and has even been frequented by George Clooney and Matt Damon, as this is where the Monuments Men movie was filmed. When you Google this location, one of the most iconic shots that comes up is in the room behind me. Now, this kind of looks like a grand ballroom. And why is it so special? You may be able to see the piano that sits in the middle of the stage in front of those creepy bay windows. This place is quite random. There is kind of little pieces of furniture in empty rooms, like this chair that I'm sitting on. Not quite sure how it got here or why it's here, but a few of the rooms are like this. Here I am in Wonderland, sitting on a toadstool. No, I'm actually sitting on a tree stump in a room which has been turned into a rather strange art installation. There are lots of broken mirrors, which, as you know, is 7 years bad luck. So is this room cursed? I wonder. It's quite an interesting art installation. I keep calling this an abandoned hospital. It's a derelict hospital. It's a hospital that has fallen into ruin and is clearly no longer a hospital, because you wouldn't want to be treated surrounded by broken glass and undergrowth. But yeah, it's kind of interesting art, open to interpretation, as is all art. There's also a strange ladder on the wall, which you definitely couldn't climb. I don't think my foot could fit on the ladder. But again, quite an interesting statement, I guess, considering this is a hospital. Maybe a reference to climbing the walls and wanting to escape. Who knows what the artist meant when they put that together. I have absolutely no idea what this is, but it just made me jump. I just walked past that door and that scared the hell out of me. I don't know, the things you can do with gaffer tape and a pair of old jeans, I guess. Interesting. In the words of Aerosmith, it just keeps getting better. Now, I have no explanation for this art display either, but I kind of feel like I would have liked to have just seen a creepy abandoned hospital. I know that these art structures make it more interesting for people visually when they're taking pictures, but yeah, I don't know what the reference is or what the point is. Not sure about how I feel about them. I am still looking for ghosts. I found some art that I can get on board with. Now, this is pretty cool. This is like a Mad Hatter's tea party, so we're very much still in Wonderland, and it's very whimsical in here, and I'm loving it. I feel like I'm about to embark on a game of chess with the Mad Hatter, and this brings new meaning to having a stick up your arse because I'm pretty much sitting on a branch. But checkmate, I'm definitely going to win. See, I'm getting into the spirit of the adventure. I'm getting into the spirit of this fairy tale themed abandoned hospital. I feel like there's something kind of spiritual about this installation, like these drapes, these old pieces of fabric are almost ghostly, like they're kind of eerie, phantom manner, setting the vibes of kind of lost memories and things like that. It's quite fascinating. I think this is my favourite room so far. I found a piano. I actually think I may have found something that is actually original. Yeah, this looks like this could be the original wallpaper that was here when this was a hospital. Kind of an interesting scene. The windmill, the beauty in the darkness, which I'm always so fascinated by. I thought this was quite a fascinating installation. It's called Healing Energy. Now, some of these installations do have the name of the artist, which I think is only right. Some of them perhaps have just got lost over time, but this one does have an explanation, and it's supposed to depict healing energy. And above me is pages. I had quite an eerie feeling. When you're in this hospital wing, there is a point in the corridor where it starts to get a little bit cold. The energy starts to get a little bit chilling. And that is when you're sort of in front of this room. So if you ever come here, notice the change in atmosphere, notice the shift in energy. Like, I'm a huge believer in that energy shifts when there's supernatural presence. So that's quite an interesting one to feel for yourself if you ever come here. I was looking up, admiring this artwork, and I noticed that the pages randomly move and spin. I don't think it's anything supernatural. I think it's just the wind coming through the broken windows. So when I was talking to you a couple of seconds ago, I was explaining the eerie part of the corridor where the art stops, the atmosphere changes. All you can hear is a family with several children. That's going to scare away any ghost, let's be honest. If you want the authentic, eerie, heavy parts of this building, I would avoid the art structures and come to the upper floors where it's literally just you and the souls that used to stay here. And when I say stay here, this was a hospital, so no one was here having a good time. It was a military hospital. Also, it was a tuberculosis hospital, so many people lost their lives within these walls. Just had a really weird sensation come over me, and just as it was happening, I sat down on these stairs to take a few images, and the church bells also started ringing at the same time. And it's cold on the second and third floors. All of the windows are pretty much smashed in and fallen out. That's probably why, but it's kind of like sad about this area, and I can't put my finger on what it is. I mean, there's something sad about the whole hospital, and of course these places over time become fascinating for people who are like urban exploring, or, you know, abandoned buildings are definitely a thing now. Exploring abandoned places and the history, they kind of become tourist attractions in certain cities. I feel like this place is certainly not as abandoned as they'd like you to believe. I mean, they run open days here, which is, I don't know, I guess it's a way of making money to secure and restore these old buildings, although I can't see that this building is going to take a hell of a lot of money to restore. And the complex is absolutely vast. I've probably been here a few hours and I haven't even scratched the surface. All of the shops you want to see and all the areas that are visually stimulating are very close to the entrance of the hospital, but it goes on for miles and miles and miles, and you could spend hours and hours going from floor to floor, from what was that? And from room to room. See, I told you this is eerie up here, and that staircase is slightly unsettling, which is why I'm sitting down, because I don't trust myself not to topple down. Yeah. If you do come here, be really careful and stay close to the wall when you're walking down these stairs, because if you fell down that drop, oh, I just gave myself the heebie-jeebies. I just gave myself a horrible, you know, sometimes when you think something out loud and you can kind of see the vision of it happening, and oh no, like a terrible dream. I need to stop now and walk down the stairs safely. So, I bet you're wondering, is this abandoned hospital haunted? Well, this is the first ghost I've spotted today. I've found the iconic baby grand piano, which sadly has no keys, so there'll be no music singing from these walls. If you look up this abandoned hospital online, the most iconic picture you will see of these dramatic red, although faded curtains, and this baby grand piano on this empty, eerie brick structure with the hollowed out bay windows behind. It is absolutely stunning and so peaceful. You can literally sit here and think back to a time where people were imprisoned within these walls, and you can hear the bird song. And by nature, this was a tuberculosis hospital, so naturally it was put in the middle of nowhere. This is in the middle of a forest, so it's super creepy. It's pretty creepy now. I imagine in the dead of night, this place is insufferable. Absolutely insufferable, like myself. Ooh. I'm literally in my photo shoot position. I'm trying to snap some really beautiful images, and I sat at the piano. It doesn't quite work because you don't see the dramatic red curtains. I sat in front of the stage, didn't quite work, so I'm trying weird and wonderful things to capture the beautiful windows, the piano, the isolation of the stage, a million things that I need to try and get inside one photo. So that's why I'm crouched on the stage. So fingers crossed, you'll see on my Instagram whether the photo worked and whether I pulled it off. So that's a wrap. What better place to end this adventure into this former Soviet military hospital than on the floor with the beautiful baby grand piano behind me. This is the most stunning place, as I said, in the whole hospital. So this is where I'm going to end my adventure. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would have loved to provide you so much more information about the history of this building, about the hauntings of this building, but I hope it's been an interesting adventure for you anyway. If you liked it, follow, like, subscribe, show me some love, share your adventures, tell me where you want me to go next, and if you're ever in Berlin, check out this fabulous abandoned hospital. It's one of many. Berlin has a large amount of abandoned hospitals, but this is the one that you can get into without having to illegally hop a fence or climb through barbed wire. So come and check it out for yourself. Bye.